Alright everyone, welcome back. Thank you very much for tuning in to today's video. I know it's been a little while since I last posted, maybe about 2 weeks or so, which is unusual, but if you are a subscriber of the channel, you may or may not have seen the community post that I put out about a week or so ago. If you're not a subscriber, then please subscribe, and that way you won't miss the community post, and you probably have some idea what I'm about to say. On March 17th, my wife gave birth to our daughter, Ava, and so leading up to that day, and since then, as you can imagine, being our first and all of this stuff being really, really new, I've just been trying to kind of get to grips with the change, of course, the life-changing experience that we've both had, and trying to adjust how I'm going to be able to create content, but still, obviously, do what's more important, which is look after my family. Now, I've managed to catch a little bit of a break here, and I thought what would be a good idea is I talk about this tweet from the official Division 2 Twitter page. The other thing I will say, guys, is in the last couple of weeks, there's not really been any news that I wanted to talk about that was urgent. This feels a little bit more urgent, if that makes sense. So it's something that I can really talk about. And it's just my cat, Harry. Yeah. So I thought it would be a good idea to just talk about this one and see what's going on, see what you guys think in the comments down below. So let's just get straight into this one here. So it says, a message from the Division 2 Dear Agents. We have seen some players circumvent game mechanics and systems in order to gain an excessive amount of XP in a short amount of time. This is resulting in high latency on our servers and thereby making the game unstable and unenjoyable. We are monitoring this behaviour, and players that make use of these exploits will receive a temporary ban, 14 days, from the game on the first offence. Repeat offenders will be banned permanently, the Division 2 team. So this is a pretty strong statement. Now, I saw this, I think this came out, what was it, yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. I saw this when it first came out, and my initial reaction to this was, that seems a bit strong. Especially because, to me, more than anything, it's 14 days, and that seems like a pretty strong stance for a first offence. Now, I don't know what, if you're actually caught cheating in the game, I don't know if there's like a 7-day ban and then permanently, but I don't know what it is, but 14 days to me seems like a pretty hefty fine for what is a PvE XP farm. Now, I have to make mention of that because I think that's important. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with me in the comments down below when I say that if you're exploiting the game or if you're cheating in a game that directly impacts other players, so like in a PvP environment, for example, or if you're doing a world's first race in something like a raid or whatever, then yes, you should be banned. I don't think anyone will disagree with me there, because ultimately that's not that's affecting someone else's experience. Now, if you want to go ahead and ruin your own, I've never had an issue with that, and I always thought that has never been a problem. Now, I have previously in the past, I remember a while ago they banned people for using the damage glitch, which was, I think, only worked in PvE. And I remember at that time, I remember saying that I felt, bans were not a bad thing. But I also then apologised for that, because actually, on reflection, I was wrong. My opinion changed. I'm not saying I'm wrong, because I don't think anyone's wrong to have an opinion, but my opinion changed. And I've always said that as long as it's PvE and it's not affecting someone else's experience, then ultimately, the devs just need to fix it, and that's about it. They shouldn't be banning people. I think in Destiny, for example, if something's broken in PvE, even if something's broken in PvP, if it's like a broken item and they know it's broken, but people are using that broken item, they don't ban players. They just either remove that item or disable that item, and that's about it. The only time that they actually ban people is when people cheat. That's when they really comes into it. So for this, I did do a poll earlier on just to see what people had said. I think at the recording of this, it's not received a lot of votes at the moment. It's probably about 150 maybe, so it's not a lot, but it was just trying to get an indication. I had some idea on where this would sit in the community, because I have been reading through all of the comments to this particular post from from the devs, and you can go through and read them yourself, guys. It's quite funny. But also, there was, I think this was posted on Facebook, and I saw the comments there, so I had some idea, and the vote that I received kind of reinforced that. It's basically 50-50. It's pretty much down the nose. You have the people that say, ban people. If people are using exploits, whether it's PvE, PvP, it doesn't really matter, ban them. There are the people that say, no, they shouldn't be banned, because at the end of the day, these exploits, these bugs, they are Massive's fault. And ultimately, if Massive can't fix their game, then it's not fair on them to punish. Well, it's not fair on players to be punished by the developers because they can't fix their game. And in many ways, I think both of these points are kind of valid. What I will say with this particular XP farm, and there's so many videos out there on. I don't know which XP farm this is talking about, because there was a ton of videos on the General Anderson XP farm. I think there's more XP farms that have come up since then that are again causing issues. So I don't know what this one relates to. It could be an old one, it could be a new one, I'm not sure. What I will say is, if you are doing an XP farm in the game, then whilst using an exploit, then please don't do it any longer, because the chances are you might well be temporary banned, and of course permanently banned if you continue to do that. Resource convoy, where you're loading into a world, running into a resource convoy, taking it down, then loading into that sort of stuff. That's not good. I don't believe that's what they're talking about, because that's been in the game since inception. There's never been an issue with that, and I don't think that's also what's causing the issues with the servers. It's actually, I think, the General Anderson XP farm. If it still works, I don't know. I know that was causing high latency, or at least that's what they said. And I'm sure there are other farms out there which are causing XP farms. If in doubt, just don't do it. And that way, you don't tune in one day and suddenly all your you've been banned off the game. But I do know that the resource convoy and stuff like that are going to be absolutely fine. Like elite patrols and all that sort of stuff, you'll be fine on that. So yeah, normally I would say anything PvE related when it comes to bans, so long as it's not impacting the experience of other players, and then have it. You just do what you want. At the end of the day, it's up to you. It's your fun. If you want to farm content over and over and over, the most boring content, most mind-numbing content in the world, and you enjoy it, then that's fine, because that's what you enjoy doing. That's up to you. The issue with this one comes into the fact that Massive is saying that these XP farms, especially like January Anderson and probably some others, they're causing high latency on the servers, and they're making the game unstable and then unenjoyable for other players. I don't know if that's what's happening here, but there is a correlation between these XP farms becoming really prevalent within the community, or especially the newer ones, and there being an uptick in issues with the servers. There's always been issues with the servers. No one's doubting that. That's always been in the game. It always will be in the game. So it's just one of those things. It's in every game. There's no doubt about that. But if a particular exploit is causing the game to not function properly, and ultimately that's obviously causing instability for the servers, and other players then joining the game or having problems, then the exploit that you're doing is ultimately affecting other players. And I think that's where it comes. That's kind of where this has gone to, right? If this, like I said, if this wasn't causing issues for other players, I don't think Massive would do anything about it. But it is, and there has been an uptick. I've seen all the reports. There's been so many more reports. I myself on Xbox Series X, I've experienced the same issues since these XP farms have gone live. I've never had it once where I've gone into Countdown and there been nothing there, right? But that has happened that has happened recently, and I don't think it's a coincidence that these XP farms are rampant, and this is now happening in Countdown. And I'm sure Massive on their side have all the data to show that, and that's why they're making this step. So yeah, I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Do you think that this is do you think they should be doing this, or do you not? Like I said, the vote said 50-50. That just shows where this is, completely down, completely splitting the player base. I know Massive wouldn't have made this decision lightly. what they're probably thinking is, at the end of the day, if people stop doing these XP farms, then everyone else can enjoy the experience, because I do know it's affecting people that wouldn't normally affect. People who aren't on PC, for example, like myself, who are on console, and it's ruining the experience for a lot of people. So I can see why they've done it. I do disagree. What I will say is I do disagree with 14 days. I think that's pretty heavy. They've made the decision. So if it were me and that decision was made, but they said to me, Epic, we've made the decision, however, we need to decide how many days people are going to be banned for. Personally, I would probably do a 3-day ban initially. Obviously, if it was to keep happening again, 7 days, 14 days, permaban. Something like that. I don't think 14 days to perm and then permaban. I think that's really heavy for what isn't cheating. It's an exploit in the game. It's like someone's deliberately cheating. They're just... And most people, if you're not following this on Twitter, guys, let me understand this. If you're not on Twitter following the game, or on Reddit following the game, you probably don't know, if you're doing an exploit, it's an exploit, but you probably don't know how that's affecting the experience of others, or you may not know. So a lot of this might actually be people who are doing this stuff but not realizing the implications of their actions, so they're not doing it deliberately to affect the experience of others, which is what cheating would be. And that's why I think 14 days to me is really heavy. And actually, I also think that if you do 14 days, those people might never come back again, which isn't something I think that the Division 2 needs. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be punished. That's the decision that the devs have made. But 3 days, I think players would go, okay, 3 days, I'll come back in 3 days. That's cool, I can take that, I won't do it again. And I think most people would be okay with that. 14 days, I think a lot of people would just not come back. I think that's too heavy, in my opinion. But there we go, guys. That's just my take on it. I'm not either side, really. Like I don't really know where I sit on this one. I don't really want... I've said before what I want to say, but I think that it's too heavy. It's affecting other players. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what everyone else thinks. I'm kind of 50-50 myself. I don't really know. I'm on the fence. I've got to admit. I can see why they've done it, but I also think that it's the last thing this game needs right now, for something that isn't considered cheating. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, thanks for all your kind comments as well, by the way, to my community post about our new baby. Really, really appreciate it. Really, really kind, and it's really, really nice to know that I can take some time off and come back and still have your guys' support. That's great. Other thing, guys, I just wanted to briefly say is, leading up to the birth of Ava, I was playing a lot of Destiny 2, and I am in love with that game right now. There's no doubt about it, and I may consider making some content on it. It's just some topics that I wanted to cover. It might not be something that I continue to do, but there is some stuff I want to say about that game, and I feel like making a video about it. So we'll have to see about that. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Until the next one, Epic out.